In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this mini album. Hi everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Albums. This is the tutorial for the Baby It's Cold Outside mini albums. This mini album measures 6 by 5 and it's got a 2-inch spine and it's held together using elastics. I do have a walkthrough on my channel. It's listed in the description box. So if you want to see a detailed walkthrough on what all is inside, go check that out. I do go through the elements after I put it all together at the end of this video. But in the meantime, let's get started with making the cover. Okay, to start making the cover, I've got 3 pieces of cardstock that I'm going to attach together. This is going to be the spine. It's the same weight cardstock, so it'll work together real well. I also did stitch a line on the edges of this. It's not necessary. I'm just playing around with a sewing machine I have, so I just need on the edge. It just was easy for me to go and make a U shape, but it doesn't matter. All right, so I put 1/8 of an inch of double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to use my lines on my surface to match all this up. So I'm making sure the bottom is on the line, and I'm right over a little more than 1/8 of an inch, so I can put this piece and have it go straight. And I'll do the same for the other side. Now this actually goes with a different collection. I purchased just some miscellaneous Doodlebug paper, and it was a winter paper, but this had more pink in it, but that's okay. It's not going to bother me. So I have that. Now let's bring in the chipboard. So I have 3 pieces of chipboard, one that is 2 by 5 for the spine and 2 that are 6 by 5 for the front and back covers. I will go ahead and peel off my double-sided adhesive. I like using this to make my covers, but you could just use glue if you wanted. Again, this is going to be smaller than I would normally do. I'm using the dots to line everything up. Normally I would have 1 inch from the bottom of the chipboard to the bottom of the paper. I have just 1/2 inch. It'll work. It'll work. It'll have to work. But I'm gonna do something a little different just to compensate for the fact that I don't have enough really to wrap it and make sure it stays on tight. So I put in some 1/4 inch double-sided adhesive on both sides of the chipboard, of the spine, and I'll peel off one of these for the cover. And I'm going to put this down, leaving a little bit less than 1/4 of an inch, but not much less. And I'll do the same with this. As you can see, I had to piece together some double-sided adhesive. It's no big deal. I guess I could add glue there, but it's not that important. So again, about 1/4 of an inch, try to make it parallel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my double-sided adhesive and put it around the perimeter, because this will help adhere it. Since if I used glue, I'd have to be working it a lot just to make sure it stays. All right, and then I'm going to just grab scissors and cut off the corner, staying about 1/8 of an inch away from the corner of the chipboard. And probably a little more than 1/8. And then I'll use my surface to bend the paper. And I'm using my bone folder to just try to train the paper to go where I want it to. And then once I get the glue on, then it'll go exactly where I want it to. Okay. Now I'll grab my glue. I am using art glitter glue. I put it in a smaller container. I'll peel off that. And then use my bone folder. And do the same for this side. Actually, I'll peel off the double-sided adhesive backing first. And just burnish it. I'm working it real well. And then here, well, first, I'm going to just take my bone folder and just push in at the corner. All right, and then to add one more element to the cover, I have this sticker. It's the scalloped, just scalloped decoration. I'm going to put it right up against the paper. And then after I get it situated where I want, I'm going to add a touch of glue, at least in the beginning, just because I don't trust stickers to actually stick. So now I know that's my front cover. All right, so let's talk about doing the binding. So usually I do a hinge binding. In this case, I'm going to use elastic. Sort of like Traveler's Notebook. So I took a piece of scrap paper and I scored it so there's a 2-inch spread between it. So I made just a score at the top at 3/4, 1 1/4, 1 3/4, 2 1/4. And I took my hole punch and punched a hole. Now the hole punch I use is the We Are Memory Keepers Crocodile. I'm going to clean out that. And you can set this, so I've got it set just about 1/4 of an inch. Now you have to be careful because this moves around, so I just have to be careful when I do it. So I'm going to go on to the inside, center this based on where my hinge is. Grab my pencil. Oh, do I need to? Oh, first I need to put in the cover paper for that. Hold on. So I forgot I wanted to cover the inside spine. So I have just a piece of cardstock. It's 4 inches by 5, just a little bit less than 5. I'm going to add glue onto the spine, being fairly generous with it. I'm not going right to the edge, but I will grab a little bit. There we go. And then I'll burnish with my bone folder, pushing it a little bit every time I go back and forth, but not a heck of a lot. And then I'm going to add some glue in this little channel here. Not a lot, but just where there's no adhesive. And then I'll add glue to this wing. And burnish. Okay, now I'll grab my little template. So I've got my score lines at the 2 inches, and that should line up right. You can't really see it, but it's at the edge of the chipboard. And draw 4 lines there. And do the same at the top. Okay, so now that I have that, now I'm going to take some eyelets and put them in the holes. So you could use one color. You don't actually have to use eyelets if you don't want. With the chipboard and everything, it's not going to go anywhere. But I've got colored ones, so I might as well use them. So I have some blue. Purple. And pink. So I'm using 2 of the light blue and, well, I mean, 4 of the light blue, 2 of the pink, 2 of the purple. So I'll do the blue. You know what else? I'm going to add a touch of glue to it. I mean, just a touch. Because this is so thick that it doesn't really crimp the way I would like it to. Okay, where did I put the other one? Almost fell. There we go. And then I will go ahead and use my tool and crimp it. Okay, see, you can barely see them coming through. Like I said, the chipboard's pretty thick. All right. Now I am going to cover the inside front cover. So make sure you remember where the front is. The front is the one that has that decoration on it. So I'm going to put this right here. I cut this about 5 3/4 by just about 5, a little bit less than 5. Okay, now this one, I'm sort of cheating on this. So I left the branding strip down at the bottom. I did score it right at the branding strip, so I scored it at 1/2 inch. I'm going to take this piece I may need to trim it down a little, but I'm putting that there. So here's the little flap, the little branding strip. Too much glue. I'm going to cut this down just a smidgen. And then I'm going to add this to the back cover. And then I'm going to just add a little bit of glue on the edge of this and make a pocket out of it. Okay, so there is our inside covers. Now let's work on the pages. All right, so for the pages, let's start with the pink. So this pink is 5 1/2 by 12. I am going to score this at 1/2 inch, 6, and 11 1/2. I'm going to take my corner rounder and round the corners. Well, I'm going to fold in this flap first. I'm going to fold this at the center. I'm going to round that. All right, I'll put that aside. And now the purple one is 5.5 by 11. I'm just going to simply score this one at 5.5. Our pages are going to be 5.5 by 4 3/4. Did I cut this one too small? They're all 4 3/4. So the pink one was 4 3/4 by 12. Okay, and then this one I'm going to round the corners, same as I did. Yeah, I'm sorry, they're all 4 3/4 tall because the book is 5 inches tall, so it's got to be a little bit smaller than the cover. I like it smaller than the cover. Some people don't mind having it the same size. Okay, that one's done. Turquoise one. So this one has flowers. I didn't have too much of the snow collection left, so I'm using this. So 4 3/4 by 12. We're going to score it at 5.5 and at 11. I'm going to fold this. Whoops, actually it's going to go like this. And we're going to round the corners. It's a little harder here because there's 2 sheets. That's easy. You don't have to round the corners. I suggest you round this at the fold line. It just helps it stay in the book. Okay, there's that one. And then I have blue. It's 4 3/4 by 11, and we're going to score it at 5.5. And round the 4 outside corners. And fold it. And round these folded corners. Okay. So we've got our pages. I'm going to start from the back and go to the front. So I've got 4 elastics. They're all about 12 inches. I'm going to go in through from the open book. I'm going to go to the outside. So the elastic's going to show, which is part of the charm of this. Now I'm going to take my blue, and I actually am going to have this one. So you can slip these on after you've put the elastic in, but this way you don't have to. I'm going to tie it into a knot. And when I know that it's nice and tight, I'll go ahead and cut the elastic. And so now we have our pages. Okay, so good. We've got that all set. Now let's decorate the cover of the book before we go any further. Gotta clean up my tools. I try to do that every once in a while. All right, so first of all, I have this. It says, "Baby, it's cold outside." I'm going to use some chipboard to glue onto here. So I just cut some scrap chipboard, just a little bit smaller than the circle, about 1/8 of an inch smaller, and so sometimes I use scrap chipboard, sometimes I use double-sided foam adhesive. I like using my scrap chipboard. Number one, it's a little better for the environment, and it's less expensive because I already have it. I have to cut this down. But I do have some foam dimensional adhesive that I'm going to use. All right, I'll add glue to these pieces. And this is going to go with this extended a little bit over our decorative scalloped edge, and there we go. Okay, so there's that. Now I also have this mountain. So the mountain and the trees are going to go next. And it's going to be sort of centered. I usually don't like to center things, but I mean, it's, to be honest, not centered on the page. It's closer to the right, but anyhow. And then I'm going to add some chipboard to this little guy. So the way I do it, let me do it on a full piece of chipboard. So I'm going to just trace around it. I have it upside down so that way if I get the pencil mark on it, it's on the back of it. And then take some scissors and try to go about 1/8 of an inch. Let me cut this piece off. And then I'll try it, see how it fits. It's good except for this bottom piece. Cut that off. Then add glue to this. Okay. And then add him over here to the right-hand side. So there is our little penguin. So we've got the cover done and we've got the pages inside. Now we get to decorate. So we're going to go through and go page by page and decorate it. You know, I forgot, before I wanted to put this little bird on the front. He's just one of the doodle pops. I just thought he was pretty cute. So anyhow, now I can throw this out. Yay. Okay, so now let's go to the inside front cover. So I've got a piece of this paper that was left over. I'm going to use the pink side. Oops, would help if it's 2.5 by 3.25. And this is 2 3/4 by 3.5. So I'm simply going to glue this on. I know, I don't have the snowflake side showing. You could if you wanted to. I want an even border all around it. And then we've got our little Yeti. I cut off this. And cut off that. And then I've got some black seam binding, and I'm just going to simply tie this in a knot at the top. I liked having our little Yeti saying, "Hello, friend." I'm adding a little glue there so it stays. I'm going to add it at an angle. I'm just going to add glue to the bottom and the side, just in case you wanted to add a bigger photo here, so it'll still slip in under here. So even though we've got this to put a photo on, if you, for instance, had a 4x5 photo, you would still be able to slip it in. All right, now this is going to go straight up and down. I'm going to add glue. And there we go. I also have a little heart that I'm going to add there. I wanted glue, it got water. So I'm going to add that to there, and it'll be just like that. So there is our front cover. We can go back and add dimensional enamel dots or whatever later. Okay, now we've got this gal, and she's going to take us snowmobiling. I'm going to round the bottom corner. This is about 1 inch wide and 5.5. Yep, just about 5.5. And that's going to go on the bottom. And then I have a little piece of this. It was from the sticker sheet. I'm just going to put it there. Cut off the excess. Oh, I guess I could have gone to the bottom. That's how I had the other one. As if it's the snow track. A touch of glue there. There we go. Okay, now I've got this piece of scrap. That's not scrap. This pink measures 3 7/8 by 4.5. I have a piece of vellum. It's 3 5/8 by 4.25. And I'm going to just add a little bit of glue down here at the bottom and one little dot at the top, because of course with vellum you don't want to add too much glue because it'll show. And then I'm going to put this here. So I'm going to just put glue on 3 sides, leaving the top open, just in case I want to go back and add something coming in from the front, the top. Okay, now I'm going to take our snowmobile girl, add glue to the bottom, and she's just going to be sitting right on our little snow track, and she's having fun there. All right, we need a snowflake. So I'm going to look for snowflake. I want a purple snowflake. This one. Yeah, let's do that. So snowflake will go at the top corner. That'll cover up our where the glue is. Now I'm not putting it on the vellum because I still want you to be able to slip a picture in. All right, so there we've got our snowmobile girl and a snowflake. The inside is going to have, it's going to have this flap. We're going to put some pink pom-pom ribbon, if you have some. If you don't, it's okay. And a little bit of purple. So let's do the pom-pom ribbon first. So to do that, I'm going to take some 8-inch double-sided adhesive and put it right at the edge. I'll peel off the backing. I'm also going to grab a little bit of glue. I'm trying not to put it right on the double-sided adhesive because it won't stick. And then I'll take this pom-pom trim and put it on the double-sided adhesive. Okay. Then I'm going to take this piece. So this is about 1.25 inches by 4. And I'm going to just add this onto this little flap. And then I'll take this little cut apart and add it onto that purple. Okay, we'll open that up. And I have a piece of this purple polka dot paper. This is 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. This white is 2 1/2 by 3 1/4. So this will be the photo mat. But I've got this piece of the border strip. I need to cut it. So it's the width of the paper, and then I'm just going to glue it, a little bit of glue on the sides, and then center it on the page. Make sure you don't go further than that fold line. Whoops. have my alarm set for a show I listen to. There we go. Okay. And then this will go into there, but I've got the Bring on the Hot Cocoa. I'm just going to add glue to the bottom. Just glue it on the bottom. Center it on the page. So when it's dry, it'll be a stop for this little photo mat. So there is that page. All right, we're moving. So let's take this little piece, and it's going to fold that way. Let's grab our ski girl and a photo mat. The white photo mat, or the background of it, is 4 1/4 by 4 3/4, and this is 3 5/8 by 4 1/4. Oopsie. Sometimes I have more of the white showing, sometimes I have a little bit, it just depends. Okay, and this is going to go on this page just like that. So just center it on the page. And then we will attach the girl on the bottom and the side so you can still slip a photo in. See? So if you had a photo, it could still sit in there on the page. Alrighty, let's do the back of the pink page. Alright, this one is a warm and cozy page. So I have purple that's 3 1/2 by 4. I have some glitter paper just because there's glitter on this. I just wanted to bring it out. 3 3/8 by 2 7/8. We'll glue this on. Oh, also wanted to glue this down. Just to add a little bit of decoration. So this pom-pom trim is on the previous page, but it shows through. Alright, so warm and cozy, I already put some dimensionals. So this is going to go on the top of the page. I'm going to take one of the mittens, add glue to the top of the mitten and put them down. And I'm going to take one of the hats, just adding glue to the top. So again, we can slip a photo in. So there's that. The sweater is going to go down here at the corner. I'm going to trim that. So I'll add glue to just one sleeve and a little on the bottom. And then I'm going to add dimensionals to this hat and that mitten. These are just double-sided foam pieces. just add a little bit just to get a little pizzing to it. Add a touch of glue just to one of them, and that's going to go right there. Peel off the backing on this, and again I'm going to add just a touch of glue to one of these. Okay, so there's our warm and cozy page. Now let's work on the purple. All right, moving right along. Let's work on this purple section. So for this, we're going to put this piece onto the page. I'm going to trim it down just a smidge. And then I've got this little piece. So it's the winter tag. I put it on purple paper. I wanted it a little stronger. And I have a little brad in there. I am going to actually make a hole there. Punch a hole in there and put this on this paper with the brad. Okay, so now I'll glue this onto the page. I'm going to go about 1/2 inch up from the bottom. Alrighty, now I have this piece that I'm just going to simply fold in half, match the corners and the bottom, and burnish. And I'm going to glue the bottom on about 1/2 inch and from the right side and center it on the page. Again, I'm going to just glue it on 3 sides to reserve the right to make it a tuck spot if I feel like doing that later. Put that in. And burnish. All right, it's a little plain to me, so I've got, this was from a tag, I just cut it off. I'm going to round the corners on this. I have some double-sided adhesive on here already. And I'm going to center our friendly penguins onto here. And then I've got some double-sided adhesive on one colorful snowflake and a second colorful snowflake that I'll put there. So this rotates to hold this flap in place, but then it's available so you can journal on here. So there we go with that. Easy schmeezy. All right, so we have matching purple pages. Let us take, all right, let's work on some tags. So I have 2 tags. I'm going to use both together. Let me cut this. Grab my hole punch. And we'll tie them together with the rainbow on the bottom. And the boy and the snowman on the top. Let's go ahead and tie a knot at the top. But I think I want to make this so this might peek out a little bit, so I'm going to round the corners of the top tag. All right, I've got this scrap page. I've rounded the corners on this already. It measures 4 by 4 3/4. And I'm just going to glue this bottom tag down, put it on the underneath the right hand side and the bottom. And that'll go corner here. But this tag can move. And then I'm going to grab my sticker sheet and find a tree. And I'm just going to put a tree in the corner, just to bring some green over there. Okay, now speaking of green, we're going to put green on this purple. Going to round the corners. Oh, guess I could tell you the measurement. 4 1/2 by 5 1/4. I'll glue that down. So there's a little, just about 1/8 of a border all around. And then I've got this. So if you've already cut your cut-aparts out, you can just add this onto a piece of white cardstock. But since I didn't, I'm going to just fold this. You could always use your scoreboard, but in this case, I didn't need to. And we'll glue her down onto our paper. Right on the center. Oh, she's so cute. All right, on our sticker sheet, I know there are some snowflakes. There was a rainbow one. Purple one, and a light blue one. So there we go with that. They look like brother and sister, maybe out playing in the snow. All right, let's work on this. So here I've got 4 1/2 by, that's just about 5. I will round the corners of this. Glue this onto here. Now, I was working with scraps, so sometimes they didn't measure exactly what you would have guessed them to. But like I said, I was working with scraps. All right, so here, this is 6¼ by 4¼ yes. And then I folded that in half. We're going to put this right on the front. Okay, this one I know I'm going to use as a tuck spot, so glue it on 3 sides, so have it open on the left side. And put it on the page about 1/2 inch from the right side. Okay, let's move that aside for now and work on, we're going to have a tag in here. So it says Snow Happy Together. This one, I'm going to just put the white seam binding in halfway. I'm going to staple it. So I put in my stapler and I'm still holding the seam binding to the top. Staple it once. And a second time so it makes an X with the stapler. And I'm just going to gently put it in because things are still wet, but it's going to tuck into here. Not going to make it go in any further at this point. All right, I need to do a little work on this one. I have a piece of white cardstock that is 3 by almost 4. Piece of, what color is that? Teal. 3½ by 4½. And then I have a piece of vellum. I'm going to cut it down to 4 by 5. Is it 5 inches already? No, not quite. All right, so the white will go onto our teal. That will go onto our vellum. We don't have to worry about the glue showing because it's going to be underneath it. And then when you glue this down, make sure you don't put glue so it would show outside the vellum. So put glue just on top of where the teal is. So that's going to get centered on here. It just sort of tones down this paper. All right, we're putting our little snow people. I'm just adding glue to the bottom of the sled, and that's going to go down about 1/8 inch from the bottom. And we've got this time to bundle up. I'm going to cut off this one fishtail. And add glue. We'll put it to the page. So I'm just going to add glue about 1/2 inch on the side. I'm going to put it so it's parallel with this teal, but it's still, you can put a photo under it. So there is our snow people. There are our snow people. All right, here we're going to make a pocket. We've got these fabulous bears that are in the gondola. That's the word I'm looking for. So this piece is about 5 3/8. And then I've got this little scalloped sticker. I'm going to put this on the very top of that. I'll add a touch of glue. And then I'll add glue on the sides and the bottom, because it's going to be just a little pocket. So I'll center that on the page. And while that's sitting, we're going to take this, and I'm just going to add glue to the top, the hanging piece. Oh, they're so cute. All right, so it just is repetitive. I couldn't use this with this pocket, so I wanted to cover this up. So I have a piece of paper that is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. You could either use a stub punch. The one I have is really small, so I'm going to use this and just cut off a corner. That's right. I need to sharpen this punch. And then it'll fit right on there. I mean, you could leave it on if you want. I just felt like it was repetitive. And since the glue's still drying on the side, I'm just going to tuck it in to the center part. And we'll just leave it like that. Okay, we're going to take this piece and make this a pocket. So we'll just add a little bit of glue over this side and a little over here. Push it down, burnish. And then I've got this fun sticker. So this one, first of all, you got to be sort of careful with it. And then when it comes off, it's got the centers. So the best way to do that is put it back on a piece of paper, burnish in the centers, and peel it off again gently. And those center pieces should stay on there. So I have the outside loops going to the right of the page, about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. I'm going to add a touch of glue here, touch of glue there, and then burnish it. A little bit of a tails there, so I'll just cut that. Okay, there's that. All right. So I'm making a photo mat. This is teal. It is 4 by 5. This is 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. 4, yeah. So there will be a small photo mat here, or small border. And because there's a small border and I wanted a little more pizzazz to this page, I've got this sticker from the sticker sheet, and I'm going to just center it on here. And that will fit into our pocket. I'm not going to force it because the pocket's still a little wet. So I'm just gently putting it in there. So there is that page. Alrighty, almost done with our turquoise, teal, whatever color. So we've got a 4x4 cut apart, and I've got a 4 1/4 by 8 1/2 piece of cardstock. I'm going to take this and fold it in half. Burnish it. And then I realized it really wasn't the right size. Huh. That one's not either. Well, let me grab some paper and cut a new one. All right, let's do that again. So this is 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. Going to take the edges, match them up, fold it over, and burnish. And then add our little cut apart. With the fold on the left side. So there's about 1/8 of an inch border all around. All right, so here, I'm going to put it over, so it's about 1/4 of an inch to the edge there. Burnish it. And then I've got a little bird we're going to just put over there. You could pop them up if you wanted to. All right, there is that. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, we have our skier dude. We have this that says "'Tis the Skeezin'," and then a couple of photo mats. This one, 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. This is not coming out. Anyhow, I'll put that on the blue. And the blue measures about 3 7/8 by 4 5/8, and the white photo mat is 4 1/4 by 5. And I need to replace my glue. Alrighty, so that'll go on to that. Okay, and this will go on to our page. Alrighty. Alright, so we'll add a little bit of glue to the side and the bottom of our ski dude. So you still can fit your photo in. And just to add a little oomph to the page, we're going to put "'Tis the Skeezin'." Here, you still can put your photo on top of that. want to make sure it still says "'tis the skeezin'." Okay, so there is that. Alrighty. We have a couple of things we need. We have a purple heart. We have a sticker that says heartwarming. We've got 2 cut-aparts with houses. And 3, oh, that says love at first sight. So, we have 2 pieces of white cardstock that are 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. And they're scored with the 3 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch. I'm going to fold and burnish on the score lines. Then I have this piece, which is 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. What I'm going to do is add glue onto this inside tab and put this one piece on here. Now I could have cut it out of just one piece of paper and scored it a couple of times, but I was at the point that I had lots of small scraps, so that's why I did that. Okay. And then this one, I'm going to add glue. I'm going to try to stay at the bottom half. And when I put this on, I'm not going to go all the way to the fold. I'm going to have just a little bitty gap, 1/16 of an inch maybe. So that way when this one folds, it doesn't come all the way to the top. So I'm going to put the purple house on top. And then I'll put this turquoise house on the next one. I'm going to leave it open here. I don't have anything particular to go in there, but I'll center that on the page. Okay, so that goes like that. And then I have this little clip. I've had it forever. But this is the perfect place for it. That can go there. I'm going to add "It Was Love at Frost Sight" to the bottom. I don't know why, because it's cute. It's not in your face. And then I'm going to take heartwarming sticker, put it up here at the top, and glue down my heart. But you have to be careful when you glue down the heart. You want to still make sure this page is going to open. So don't go over the top. It can go over to the side. So there is that page. Now, I cut a white piece of paper, rounded the corners. This is 5 1/2. Yep. And then just took scissors and made it look like snow. You really won't see it. I am going to just put glue on the bottom and the sides, just in case we are going to use this as a tuck spot. And it goes down to the bottom of the page. Then I've got a blue house, a tree, and a turquoise house. And we'll put that aside for now. The tree, I'm going to cut two-thirds on the left side, 1/3 on the right. I'm going to glue the blue house to about here. So we just need glue on the bottom. We're gluing it onto the snow. And then we can take this house and just sort of tuck it in next to the blue house. It's sort of behind the house. And then we've got the turquoise house. I mean, you could develop your houses however you want. I'm going to put this one down a little bit further. And I actually had overlapped these. And then I will take the tree and add it behind the turquoise house. I don't know if I like that, but it's okay. Okay, so here I've got, this is Happy Birthday from all of us. So this piece is 2 3/8 by about 3 3/8. That will cover that up, and that is where you can put your photos. And this is a tuck spot behind those houses. Alrighty. So close to the end. So I have this strip of snowmen. It's 5.5. I'm going to round the bottom corners. Add glue to the sides and the bottom. And there we go with that. I've got a little snowman. He's looking to the right, so I'm going to add him to the left. He'll sit like that. Then I've got, this is 4 1/4 by 3. And so this is 3 by 4. 3 by 2 3/4 by 4. And that, whoops, no. I'm going to take the snowman sticker. And it's going to say snowman here. I'll put it on the blue over to the side. So I'm just gently putting this in until the glue dries. And then here, I've got a sticker. I've got like a 1/8 of an inch piece. Cut this off. So this is just about 6. I'm going to glue this at the top, about 1/4 inch from the top of the pocket, and I'll add this sticker right below it. And I have a little sticker that says, not a sticker, you have to add glue to it. A little piece of ephemera, it says let it snow. I'm going to put this over on the right, just opposite from where our snowman is. And I've got that little piece to go in there. I'm going to cut that white off. This little piece Oops, that shows I need to add glue. I'll add ribbon to that, and that is it. If you want, you can add something to the back. I'm not going to add anything to the spine. There really wouldn't be room for it. And there we go. Baby, it's cold outside. So quick, easy, no spine or no hinge mini album. Cute, cute, cute. You can add a bunch of pictures in here. Got to go through and make sure it's not all glued down. Cute, cute, cute. And that's how we make the Baby It's Cold Outside mini album. There is a more detailed walkthrough on my channel. If you'd like that, check the description box and you can get the link for that. At this point, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help me out more than you know. Thanks again for watching and have a fabulous day.